Is this better than Solo Escape from Tarkov? I've played the demo of Road to Vostok, early access release on the 7th of April, and it wants to be the definitive solo extraction experience. At least that's the promise from the solo dev behind it. One day, this absolute mad lad from Finland looked at his receipt for a $250 Unheard edition, saw that a basic single player edition was held for ransom and decided, alright, I'm gonna do it myself. At least that's how I imagine how this project must have started. This absolute lunatic has been grinding for years and even underwent a complete engine shift from Unity to Godot. Whatever. He did that because Unity was apparently fed up with being successful and wanted to piss off everyone in the industry. And after a mountain of playtests and demos, we are on the finish line to early access. The current demo is pretty lean in terms of content, but enough to get an impression of what it's supposed to feel like. And oh boy, does it feel like something. It's heavy, like bag of bricks heavy. Every step in Road to Vostok is deliberate. The gunplay is nowhere near Slide Cancel 360 no-scope nonsense. It's crunchy, crispy even, like a freshly toasted slice of government-issued morning bread. When you fire or get fired at, it wants to kick your butt. Every reload lets you sense the mechanical inner workings of your weapon. It's a little low budget but extremely high effort. Just charming. There is something for everyone. Movement junkies, for example, will have a vast array of keyboard inputs to play around with while getting shot at from the AI across the map out of nowhere. More on the enemy AI later. Weapon fanatics are delighted to hear that every weapon got its own dedicated type of ammo. It almost feels as good as hitting subscribe and like on the video made with passion like this one. And the dev describes it as hardcore solo survival, and he wasn't kidding. The Finnish wilderness you're roaming around is bleak, grey and cold. And quiet. Until it isn't. When walking through the abandoned areas and admiring what he built with Godot, a single gunshot reminds you that you're not a superhero. You're not the apex predator here. Just a guy with a million possible ways of dying and a million more items needed to try and fix all those problems. The minimal UI further emphasizes this. Want to know how little bullets left in your crappy Makarov? Gotta check mid-fight. No fancy high-tech UI element. Forgot to reload your shotgun properly after the last time you fired? You're probably screwed again. The general gameplay loop is simple but gets progressively more punishing. The first few zones are relatively safe and extraction typical. Loot, kill stuff, get back to safety and start hoarding like a chipmunk and start customizing your little shelter if you wish. Going out there again and not so lucky the next time? After dying, everything you looted and brought back to your hideout prior is still there. Low stakes and low reward. To get to the eponymous city of Vostok, you're gonna cross the border zone. You're going to go through a shift from quite calm farm life with minor annoyances here and there to warzone-like territory with a fun minigame added to the mix called Dodging Mines. The good stuff all lays behind all this struggle in Vostok, but if you die there, you lose everything. All this hardcore surviving fun is a bit dampened by the fact the aforementioned AI uses X-ray vision right now to see through foliage, for example. That's just one minor issue with the algorithmic controlled enemies right now. They also either shoot with laser precision or can't hit a damn elephant on a 2-meter distance.
I'm blind! I'm blind! I'm blind!
The developer already said that he's aware of this and wants to fix it after the early access release though. But laser precision enemies are not the only immersive thing you'll encounter on the way to Vostok. The world starts to feel a little bit more alive when the darkest of all nights hits the clock and all you got is a flimsy torch you bought for way too much cash at the trader. The dim light is barely enough to get you through the darkness and finding night vision goggles is probably impossible in these starting areas. Your only hope is to get back to shelter, sleep for a while and better be prepared to have breakfast ready. Or winter starts coming and you realize this is more than a fresh coat of paint for the environment. It will freeze you to death, because who would have thought that you'd need that 20th jacket you found out while scavenging for the right type of ammo for your gun? These are just some of the game's details trying to absorb you into its world, from dynamic helicopter intermissions to boss battles and other random events. Its future seems even more ambitious than it already is for a solo guy developing such game. Every new update is supposed to bring the usual batch of content like maps, weapons, but also friendly factions with AI versus AI combat. Right now, quests are the simplest form of getting the player busy. Fetch random item and return to NPC. But there's more on that mentioned on the roadmap too. A new quest system and some deeper lore. What that ultimately means still has to be seen though. Some might already notice the static nature of the levels, but at least things like bullet penetration is fixed too in one of the upcoming updates. And that's still not enough, I hear you scream? Well, what about seafaring, fishing, NPC boat patrols and even scuba diving? Well, and the freaking lunatic of a developer is gonna add destruction systems in the last planned update for the game, which should mark the 1.0 release. At least that's what I read from the roadmap. Correct me on that if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
So the question was, is it better than Tarkov though? Well, for solo players, certainly. It's that cheap in early access. Some might argue, where's the point in an extraction shooter like this without high stakes in PvP, but the desire for more PvE extraction is clearly there. See Incursion Red River or Madfinger Games' ambitious Grey Zone Warfare. Albeit this has PvP too if you wish for it. But Road to Vostok has something that no $250 Unheard Edition or any other overpriced crap will ever deliver on: Soul. It's something made by someone who actually plays and loves games. He wants to do it right, granted in his own unique way, which may not appeal to everyone. But people are already eager to see at least where this leads, with more than 1 million demo downloads on Steam and over 600,000 wishlists. It's obvious he's onto something. And negative feedback from people on Steam is largely centered around the AI we already talked about. There's more stuff here and there that can bother, like the feel of too much walking around. Currently the only way to extract is to directly reaching your hideout. More than one is planned for the early access, but more and different points of extract is something people really seem to want. Other things are easy to iterate on, such as general drain of stats such as hunger, thirst and mental state. It doesn't feel like a AAA polished product, and honestly it shouldn't. It feels like a passion project that actually respects your time. No battle pass, no daily login rewards, just your rifle and the miserable Finnish weather. I'll see you at the border zone, just try not to step onto anything that goes beep.